use your finger to hold the arrow on your shelf. Is that bad form in traditional archery? Well, today we're going to discuss that because several of you have reached out to me before to say that is bad form. Let's talk about it. Oh, we've got mail time on the channel. Let's get started. Hey, Joe McLean here from CatholicHack.com, where I live my life for God, and I'm passionate about traditional archery. And today we're going to have that controversial conversation about the finger, the bow hand finger. Is it bad form? Is it natural? Is it okay? Is it unsafe? We're going to discuss that here first. And we're going to open some packages on the program because some incredible viewers have sent me some gifts, and I'm super pumped about that. But before we do all of that, if you're new here, I'd be grateful if you'd consider joining our community. We're putting out a traditional archery video every Thursday at about 8 o'clock. Tips, tricks, reviews, conversations on traditional archery, and even hunting, all of that every Thursday at 8. Sometimes we put out more videos, but hit that subscribe button if you like that, or even that bell notification icon. All right, so let's jump into it. This first package comes to us from Wyoming. This comes from Jeff. Jeff, thank you for this. It is a jig. It's my very first jig. You might remember I had a video about probably a couple months ago now where I sort of made my own little jig, and this is a proper jig, and I'm super excited. And it's good time because last week's video, that bottle opener, Byron Ferguson bottle opener trick, which didn't turn out well, I ruined 2 arrows on that. I've had a few arrows lying around, needed the feathers removed and replaced, and so I've decided to make that one of my projects this week. And what I did was I took the 2 arrows that I busted up on that Byron Ferguson bottle opener trick last week that went very, very bad. I'll link to it below so you can see. And I removed the feathers off of it because they're still in good shape. And my plan is to use this jig to put them on the old shafts. We're going to try that. Check this out. Adam Telling from Get Twisted Bowstrings in the UK sent me not 1 but 3 bowstrings because a few weeks back I busted my bowstring. I had a Flemish twist fast flight string that went exploded on me at full draw and really freaked me out. So he felt really bad for me, so he sent me some bowstrings. Adam, thank you for that. We're going to be opening these up right now. I love the serving on that. That's super cool. Whoa, look at that. I like the color, Adam. How cool is that? I like the look of that. Whoa, this one here. Check this out. Get Twisted Bowstrings. Quality strings at comfortable prices. Call, text, or email for any quote. Find us on eBay. Adam Telling. His email is baileytelling@aol.co.uk. Hey Adam, I'm very grateful for these bowstrings. You did a great job. It's got the brown serving. Very nice. Thank you very much. I gotta say, I really like the look of this red one the best. 2 thoughts on using the finger to keep the arrow on the shelf, and they're pretty related, I would say. Safety and form. These come by way of criticisms that I've seen on the channel in videos past. I'll link to some of those below, and it's great because we have a diversity in this community. Some shooters are traditional archer competition shooters, like Olympic style archery, some are 3D style archery. Guys that just hunt, there's guys that shoot their backyard like me, and gals, by the way. There are now gal shooters too. Welcome. We've got a diversity of opinion and a diversity of thought on this matter, right? So in the comment box below, leave your 2 cents, leave your opinion on the use of this. But let's get into the form and the safety of using your finger to keep the arrow on the shelf at all. Now, a lot of times I'll see comments that say, it's not safe, you shouldn't do it. And hey, that's a great heads up, right? You want to be safe. You don't want to do something that's going to put you or somebody else at risk. That would be very bad. But I'll say this about myself anyway. I use full length arrows when I hunt, especially. Sometimes I shoot with some older arrows that aren't full length. But most of the time I use these 32-inch arrows, and I have several inches hanging out over the end of that arrow shelf before it even gets close to my finger. So I really am never in any danger in that regard. Even with the broadhead on the end, never had any issues whatsoever with the finger. And I've had bows snap at me at full draw. My bear had bowstring snap on me like it did a few weeks ago. PVC bows snap on me at full draw. I know what it's like to have an emergency at full draw. And my finger, however, has never had any issues. I've had other problems, but not that one. I mean, the forearm takes a major beating, but my finger has never had any problems whatsoever. And it's never been in danger of being sliced by the broadhead. That doesn't mean there's not any safety concerns. There still could be safety concerns, but generally speaking, I haven't experienced any of them, and I've experienced a lot, at least in my opinion anyway. Hand your bow and an arrow to a person who's never shot before. Mention nothing to them. Just hand it to them. See what happens. I guarantee they're going to use that finger to keep that arrow on. It's intuitive. It's built in. It's just natural to want to use that finger. A lot of times they curl it over the shaft, which denocks the arrow and makes them start all over again. I usually will start there with a shooter and just say, hey, make sure your finger is nice and straight. You're going to use it anyway, so just make sure it's nice and straight and don't curl it over and just let the arrow bump up against it. The better they get, the more they shoot, the more they can improve, the more they can eliminate the finger altogether from their form, right? I've been canting now for a few months, I would say, shooting purely instinctive. I'm not gapping in any way. I am canting slightly, but still I prefer just to use that finger. But it's just natural for me. It may be bad form if you're shooting in competition. Here's a dirty little secret, honestly, in traditional archery. There's never one way to do anything in traditional archery. Now, I get it. If you're a competition shooter, Olympic style, whatever, there may be some form factors there that sort of dictate things, and people probably don't use their finger in Olympic style archery. They probably use a rest of some kind. That's okay. No problems there. But I'm just a backyard shooter. I shoot at targets in the backyard or out in the field or when I'm hunting in the woods. On rare occasion do I go to an archery range and stand shoulder to shoulder with the guy next to me. 99.9% of the time, I can do anything I want. Doesn't mean it's not bad form, but you know what? The dirty secret is you can do anything in traditional archery as long as you're consistent and determined to hit that arrow and you practice hard enough. For instance, you could practice hard enough shooting at tiny targets, hitting the bullseye using your feet while standing on your hands. I think it's been done. Do you see what I'm saying? There's never one way to do anything in traditional archery. So from a form perspective, there's no problem using your finger, unless of course you're in a situation where it wouldn't be appropriate to do so, or you simply don't prefer to do it. Form and safety, what are your opinions? I would love to know, and I'm sure you've got them. Leave them in the comment box below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated the video, give it a thumbs down. That's okay too. Sharing is always caring. Check out these other videos, and if you're new again, click that subscribe button. Become a member of our community. We're trying to do something a little positive here. We're trying to create conversation. Hey, I'm praying for you that you shoot straight. I hope you pray for me that I shoot straight. And until the next video, may God richly bless you. Don't give anybody the finger in this group.